All right, we're going to move on to some other news now. In Hong Kong, police have fired pepper pellets at crowds of pro-democracy protesters and made more than 200 arrests in the city center. Riot police surrounded the legislature building in anticipation of protests. The territory's pro-democracy demonstrators want to voice their opposition to a bill criminalizing disrespect for China's national anthem, which lawmakers are currently debating. All right, let's get an update on this story now. We can speak to Tom Grundy, editor-in-chief of Hong Kong Free Press. Tom, thanks for joining us. You are currently on the streets where protests, as we understand, have been escalating. Give us an idea of what's been happening.
Well, a bit of a tense standoff at the moment in Mongkok. We're up to about 240 arrests, some of them children in a uniform. We've seen pepper balls, pepper spray being fired by police. We understand 3,500 officers deployed in this huge security operation today, with the legislature surrounded by water-filled barriers. And now it seems we may be descending, as we have throughout the day, into a sort of cat-and-mouse situation between the protesters and the police, as Mongkok, the shopping district of Causeway Bay, and the central district, the central business district, became sort of giant Pac-Man maps of the police and protesters giving chase. But lots of arrests today, with them being loaded onto police vans.
Tom, we understand that protesters today are protesting against this national anthem law. We do know that other countries also criminalize desecrating the flag or the national anthem. So why are they out protesting this law today?
That's true. Well, the difference is in Hong Kong, if this law is passed, as it most certainly will, people could face prison for up to 3 years or a large fine for mocking, insulting, or parodying the national anthem. But this comes in tandem with the national security law as well, which many are concerned here will be an affront to civil liberties and freedom of speech. So that's certainly spurred people onto the streets, because that will be inserted directly into Hong Kong's mini constitution just in the next few months without any legislative oversight.
Tom, we see the police there just lined up right behind you, and President Xi Jinping said China is going to be stepping up its military preparedness. So if these protests continue to escalate, to turn violent, what kind of pushback do you think we might see from Beijing?
Well, the local army garrison chief has also made similar threats. We do hear these things about, the military in Hong Kong, but the idea of this national security legislation is that it will empower Hong Kong itself, as well as the national security services who could end up being based here, to prosecute people for secession, sedition, and subversion. Unfortunately, we don't have clear answers as to how exactly that may affect the civil liberties, freedoms, and core values that we're used to in Hong Kong as a semi-autonomous region.
And Tom, you've been speaking to protesters. I mean, what are they saying in terms of what they expect from international support?
Well, we've seen some support, I suppose, from Donald Trump in that he said he will make a strong statement this week. Also, Tsai Ing-wen of Taiwan. But just around the corner here, I've seen people appealing for overseas countries to intervene. But this is one of the things that may become outlawed just in a few months, along with mocking the national anthem, maybe even calling for an end to one-party rule or for Chief Executive Carrie Lam to step down. That's the big thing about this law. We don't know what it will entail. And seeing how these laws are rolled out in the mainland, there is concern that we may never know the exact definition of what is allowed and what is not, because it's often purposefully applied in a very vague and broad manner.
All right, Tom Grundy, editor-in-chief of Hong Kong Free Press, reporting there on the streets of Hong Kong. Thank you so much.